Hello students, welcome to Pi Academy, the place for mathematics and science. Dear students, in today's class, we are going to continue the chapter gravitation. And do remember, this is 6th period of this chapter. In the 5th period, we were answering for the questions that are given in exercise. Total 10 were over, right? Now, let's go for continuing. So here, I have written 11th one and 12th one. Let's go for answering these two one by one. Observe this 11th one. The question is, why will a sheet of paper fall slower than one that is crumpled into a ball? The meaning of the question is very simple. You are going to take a sheet of paper and leave from the height, some height, and you will observe that it moves slower. Whereas the same paper is crumpled into a ball and leave from the same height, but all of a sudden it falls. That means it falls faster. Then what is the reason for this? Could you tell what is the reason? So let's go for answering. Before that, just keep observing this movement of this paper. I am going to leave the paper from this side. See that. You observe that it moved slower, right? Now I am going to take the same sheet of paper and crumpling into a ball. Let us leave this from the same height. Observe this. See, you notice that all of a sudden it fell, right? What may be the reason here? In case of sheet of paper and the crumpled into a ball, you just observe the surface area. Which one has larger area? This sheet of paper has larger area. Therefore, so it experiences larger resistance from the air. Got it? So that is why it moves slower. Whereas this can cut the air easily. Hence it moves faster. Hope that you have understood. Now let me go for writing the answer. Could you tell what should be written? The reason is a sheet of paper has larger area. A sheet of paper has a larger area and it experiences greater resistance from the air. Than crumpled paper, right? Therefore, sheet of paper fall slower. Therefore, a sheet of paper falls slower. Now, let's go for answering 12th one. Please don't go for writing anything. Observe. Afterwards, I'll give you time for writing. 12th one is, gravitational force on the surface of the moon is 1/6 as strong as gravitational force on the earth. Then what is the weight in Newton of a 10 kg object on the moon and on the earth? Is it not simple? Yes. Dear students, we all know that gravitational force on the moon is 1/6 of the gravitational force on the earth. And here they have given an object of mass 10 kg. What will be its mass on the surface of the moon? It will be 10 kg only. On the surface of the earth, that is also 10 kg. Why? Because mass is constant. It does not change from place to place. Whereas weight changes. Okay, now let us go for finding the weight of this object on the moon as well as on the earth. Here, first I'll write mass of the object. Mass of the object on the earth. How much? 10 kg. Then similarly, mass of the same object on the moon. Mass will never be changed, so that this is also 10 kg. And let us go for finding weight of the object on the earth as well as on the moon. So we all know that weight, that is W, is equal to m into g, that is mass into acceleration due to gravity. Let's go for finding weight of the object. Weight of the object on the earth. Object on the earth. This is equal to mass into acceleration due to gravity. What is the mass of the object on the surface of the earth? Before that, just I'll go for writing the formula. M into G. M is mass of the earth. Ge, it is acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth. So mass of the object is 10 kg. Acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth. On an average, we go for taking 9.8 meter per second square. So multiply this. This will be 98 Newton. Clear? This is the weight of the object on the surface of the earth. Let's go for finding weight of the object, same object on the surface of the moon. Weight of the object on the moon is equal to 1 by 6 into weight of the object on the earth. Followed. Now this is equal to 1 by 6 into, what is the weight of the object on the earth? It is 98. So 1 by 6 into 98. Cancel it. 2 3s are, 2 4s are, 2 9s are. 49 by 3. Now this is equal to, cancel it. 3 1s are 3. 1 will remain 19. 3 6s are 18. 1 will remain 10. 3s are 16.33 Newton. Followed? Yes, conclusion. Therefore, weight of the object on the moon on earth. Weight of the object on the earth is 98 Newton and on the moon is 16.33 Newton. Followed? Yes, please go for copying from there to here. Dear students, go to the 13th one, is important one. The statement is given like this. A ball is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 49 meters per second. Calculate, first one, the maximum height to which it rises and the total time it takes to return to the surface of the earth. Hope that you have understood that, right? You'll go for taking a ball and it is to be thrown vertically upward with some velocity. How much? It is 49 meters per second. Then it reaches the highest point. At what height it will reach, that should be found out. And the second one is, see, it takes time to reach that highest point and also to fall back to the ground from that point. So for to and fro motion, what is the total time taken by the ball? That should be found out. These are the two important statements, and even it was given in the examination as well. So I have put star mark. Yes, pausing the video, you may go for copying this. After that, you may start writing with me. Now, let us write data. Look here. For the sake of understanding again, I am going to draw the figure. You have taken a ball and it is thrown vertically upward with a velocity 49 meters per second. What does 49 meters per second indicate? It is the initial velocity of the ball, the motion of the ball, or the velocity with which ball is thrown vertically upward. U is equal to 49 meters per second. When it reaches to the highest point, then what will be its velocity at that point? Very good. It will be 0. Then final velocity is 0 meters per second. Next, as the object is thrown vertically upward, what will be the acceleration due to gravity? will it go on increasing or decreasing? It will go on decreasing, because as the height increases, acceleration due to gravity decreases. And we also know that G is to be taken as positive for free fall body and it is negative for projectile body. Here the ball is projectile or free fall? It is projectile. Hence we have to take G is equal to minus 9.8 meter per second square. Followed? Okay, let's go for calculating. First one, what is that? The maximum height to which it rises. So this is the highest point. Here V equal to 0. And you are going to find out this height. What formula should be used or equation should be used? We have three important equations of motion. V equal to U plus GT. Then H is equal to UT plus half GT square. Then 2GH is equal to V square minus U square. Which of these can be taken? We want H. We have initial velocity, time is unknown. Can we go for taking this one? V square minus U square equal to 2GH. G is known, H is to be found out. V is known, U is also known. Here I'll write by the equation of motion. Then we can write V square minus U square equal to 2GH. Followed? What is V? V is 0. 0 whole square minus U. U is 49 whole square. It is equal to 2 into G is. It is minus 9.8 and H. Got it? What is 0 whole square? 0 square. 0 minus 49 square? 49 square only. So minus 49 square can be written as 49 into 49 divided by, this is 2 into minus 9.8. I'll write it as it is. 2 into minus 2 into 9.8. It is equal to H. Now let's go for cancelling. Here after decimal one digit is there, you can take 1 0 here and minus minus get cancelled. 49 into 49. Here I'll take 0, then 2 into 98. Decimal is converted into fraction. Now 49 ones are 49. 2s are, right? 2 ones are 2. 2s are 4s are 5s are. It's equal to H. H is equal to 245 by 2. Now start dividing. It is 2 1s are, 2 2s are, 2 2s are, 1 will remain, 10, 2 5s are. H is equal to 122.5 meter. Clear? Okay. Now, next, let us write the conclusion at last. Let's move on to second one. The total time it takes to return to the surface of the earth. So first we have to find out what is the time taken by the ball to reach the height. It is 122.5. Got it? That time and also the falling, the time taken to reach the ground from the highest point, both will be equal. Hence we can write the total time as time taken for to and fro motion, 2 times of t. Here I'll write second one. Let the time taken to reach the highest point be t seconds. Followed? Then how do you go for finding time? Observe. V equal to U plus GT. Can we go for this? V is known, U is known, G is known, you can find out T. Here I'll write. Again, by equation of motion, V equal to U plus GT, where V is 0, U is, initial velocity is 49, plus G is minus 9.8, and time T as it is. Transfer this to the left hand side, becomes plus 9.8. T T is equal to 49. This is, we can write T is equal to 49 by 9.8. Remove the decimal. Then this will be 490 and this will be 98. Now 49 tens are 49 twos are. It is equal to 5. T is equal to 5 seconds. Then we want the total time. Total time is equal to 2 times of T. That is time taken for ascending as well as descending. Here I will write ascending time is equal to descending time. That's why it will be 2 times of T. This is equal to 2 into T is 5 seconds is equal to 10 seconds. Followed? Now let us go for writing the conclusion. What is the conclusion? The maximum height the ball reaches is 122.5 meter. The maximum height to which ball reaches is 122.5 meter. Next, then time taken to return to the surface. Total time taken by the ball to reach the ground. How much? It is 10 seconds. Followed? Hope that you have understood. Even you might have written with me. If not, go for copying from there to here. And you must practice this one. Repeatedly I have been telling, it is one of the important statement which was given in the examination as well. Right. Go through this 14th one. This is, a stone is released from the top of a tower of height 19.6 meter. Calculate its final velocity before touching the ground. And this is also very simple. Pausing the video, you have to copy this statement. Afterwards, you can start writing with me. Look here. This is the tower. And its height is, how much? Height is 19.6 meter. Then a stone is released from the top of a tower. Stone, this is the stone. And it is released from the top of the tower. We are not pushing that, just we are leaving. When it is at highest point, then could you tell what is its initial velocity? Very good, it is 0. So we can write initial velocity of the stone. It is u equal to 0 meter per second. Then, and what is its height? Height from which it is dropped. This is 19.6. So I'll write h is equal to 19.6 meter. Then here they have asked to find out the final velocity before touching the ground. Obviously, when the stone is dropped from some height, it starts falling towards the ground due to force of gravity, right? Or the gravitational force of the earth. As it approaches the earth, the velocity will go on increasing. So when it touches the ground, then it will be 0. But before touching the ground, what was its final velocity? That should be found out. That is, V is equal to question mark. As the stone is falling towards the ground due to gravitational force of the earth alone, then what you can call stone, whether it is free fall body or a projectile body. Very good, free fall. If it is free fall, then what will be the value of G? G is plus 9.8 meter per second square. So I'll write G is equal to 9 plus, no need to write plus. If it is minus, then only you must mention. Plus 9.8 meter per second square. For your reference, you can write stone is free fall body. Now with this information, let's go for calculating final velocity. Obviously, we will go for using the equations of motion. which are v equal to u plus gt, h is equal to ut plus half gt square, and third one is v square minus u square equal to 2gh. Which one should be used? See, we know u, v should be found out, then gh, uv, gh, uv, time is not there, no need to go for taking first two, you can go for last one, v square minus u square equal to 2gh, right? Here, by equation of motion, yes, right, what is that? V square minus u square equal to 2gh. What is v? V is unknown, so you may write this as it is, where u is 0 whole square, 2 into g, g is plus 9.8 into height is 19.6, followed. Now 0 whole square is 0, v square minus 0, just v square only. You may go for multiplying this, or first convert this into fractions. So 2 into 9.8 can be written as 98 by 10 into 19.6 can be written as 196 by 10, because after decimal one digit. Then v is equal to square root of 2 into 98 can be written as 49 twos or 249s and 196. Do you know why I have written so? The reason is 49 twos are, the factorization of 98 contains perfect square. 196 is already perfect square. 10 tens are 100, that is also perfect square. Then 2 twos are, that is perfect square. Now it is equal to, then what is square root of 4? It is 2. Square root of 49, 7. Square root of 196, this is 14. Square root of 100, 10. Now go for multiplying. This is 2 sevens are 14. 14 14s are 196 by 10. This is 19.6. Is it not interesting one? Yes, the reason is height is 19.6. Even the final velocity is also 19.6. Got it? So conclusion, what should be written? Final velocity of the stone before touching the ground is 19.6 meter per second. Okay, let us write that. Therefore, the final velocity of the stone before touching the ground, is 19.6 meter per second. Understood? Please put star mark for this also and go for copying. Dear students, go through 15th one. We have already solved this type of problem, but anyhow, once we shall go for this one, and is also important one as well. A stone is thrown vertically upwards with an initial velocity of 40 meter per second. Taking g is equal to 10 meter per second square. Dear students, here they only have given the acceleration due to gravity. How much? 10 meter per second square. Find the maximum height reached by the stone. But earlier we had taken the ball. A ball is thrown vertically upward and the height reached by it was found out. Same thing. And the second sub question, what is the net displacement? What is the net displacement? Then net displacement means it is the least distance between initial position and final position, and the total distance covered by the stone. Total distance is first for moving to reach highest point, and then after that the distance covered by the stone from highest point to the ground. That is the total distance. So there are 3 sub questions. Let's go for answering one by one. So pausing the video, copy the statement, then you will start writing with me. Yes, first let us write data. Okay, a stone is thrown vertically upward. See, this is the ground. From here, we will go for throwing the stone. This is the stone. Next, with an initial velocity of 40 meter per second. So, initial velocity given to the stone is 40 meter per second. Here I'll write u equal to 40 meter per second. Taking g is equal to 10 meter per second square. Then find the maximum height it reached. This is the height it should be found. Next, what is the net displacement? Displacement is denoted by S. And the total distance covered by the stone, that is D equal to question mark. These are the 3 sub questions. Let's go for calculating one by one. First one. Look at it. Let's go for finding height. Again, we should go for writing the equations of motion. The equations of motion are V equal to U plus GT, H is equal to UT plus half GT square, then V square minus U square equal to 2GH, right? Now, you are going to find out H. You know U and G. When the stone reaches the highest point, what will be the final velocity? Final velocity will be 0. We know U, V and G. So time is unknown. No need to go for taking these. Take the last one only. Third equation of motion. Here I'll write, when the stone is reached the highest point, then final velocity will be 0. Now, here I'll write, by the equation of motion. By the equation of motion, how do you write? V square minus U square equal to 2GH. What is V? It is 0 whole square. U is 40 whole square is equal to 2 into G. What is G? It is 10 meter per second square. But please do remember, stone is thrown vertically upward. So that this will be minus 10. Now here I'll write projectile body. This is equal to minus 10 into H. Then 0 whole square is 0. Then 0 minus 40 whole square minus 40 into 40 divided by 10 into 2, 20. So minus 20 is equal to H. 0, 0, 1s are 2s are. Minus get cancelled. H is equal to 42s are 80. 80 meter. First one is over. Next, we should find out second one. What is that? The displacement. Displacement. To find out that, you must know the initial position and final position. Here, the stone is thrown vertically upward. It goes up and reaches highest point. Then it comes back in the same path and finally it touches the ground at the same position. Followed, here initial position and final position of the stone is same. Hence, the displacement will be 0. Here I'll write. The initial position and final position of the stone is same. Therefore, displacement is 0. That is S equal to 0. Next, we should find out the total distance traveled by a body. See, the distance covered by the stone to reach highest point is equal to the distance covered by the stone to reach the ground from the highest point. Both are equal, and the height at which the stone will reach is 80 meter. Again, it falls to the ground by covering the same distance, 80 meter. 80 meter plus 80 meter, it is 160 meter. Followed? Here are right. Distance covered by the stone to reach highest point is equal to distance covered by the stone to fall to the ground or to reach the ground from highest point. That's why total distance is equal to 2 times h. This is also h, this is also h. So 2 times h, 2 into h is 80 meter is equal to 160 meter. Clear? Now, let's go for writing the conclusion. What is that? First one, find the maximum height reached by the stone. The maximum height reached by the stone is 80 meter. Next, displacement of the stone. What is the displacement? It is 0. Next, total distance covered by the stone. The total distance covered by the stone, it is 160 meter. Clear? Yes. Go for copying this. Yes. Yes, students, go through this. 16th one. It is calculate the force of gravitation between the earth and the sun. Given that mass of the earth is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg and that of the sun is 2 into 10 raised to the power 30 kg. The average distance between these two is 150 million, that is 15 crore kilometer, can be written as 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 11 meter. Okay, let's go for calculating. Pausing the video, copy the statement, then you can start writing with me. Data. Dear students, we are very familiar with the formula to find out gravitational force. What is that? It is G into m1 m2 by d square. Let us go for taking mass of the earth as m1 and sun as m2. Here, let the mass of the earth, call it as m1. How much? Which is very familiar to us. This is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. And the mass of the sun, you may call it as m2. This is, please do remember this also, 2 into 10 raised to the power 30 kg. And the distance between sun and the earth, this is the distance between the sun and the earth, you may call this as d, is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 11 meter. And we are going to find out the gravitational force, you may call it as F, that is equal to question mark. Calculation. We know that gravitational force acting between two bodies is given by, how do you write? It is F is equal to G m1 m2 by d square, right? Where G, what is G? G is gravitational constant. and the value was given by Henry Cavendish. What is that value? It is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Now, this is equal to, substitute, where G is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. I'll write the unit at the right side. Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Next, M1. What is M1? It is mass of the earth. This is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. Next, mass of the sun is 2 into 10 raised to the power 30 kg. Now, here kg and kg and kg raised to the power minus 2 get cancelled. Divided by d square. D is, this is 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 11. Whole square is there. Into 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 11. Meter is there. So, it is meter square. So, meter square get cancelled. Only Newton will remain, which is the unit of force. Is equal to. How do you go for solving this? Very simple. First you have to write decimal numbers and exponents separately. This is 6.67 into 6 into 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 plus 24 plus 30. See here, in case of exponents, the bases are same, powers are different. We can add them according to law of exponent. Next, in the denominator, 1.5 into 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 11 plus 11. This is equal to, observe. Now, what is the next step? Remove the decimal. Here, after decimal, 2 digits. Here, 1 digit, 1 digit. So, denominator 2 zeros, and here 2 digits are there, 2 zeros. They get cancelled. Hence, we can write it as 6.67 as 667, then 6 as it is, 2 as it is, into 10 raised to the power. What is minus 11 plus 24? It is 13, right? 13 plus 13, it is 43. Next, denominator, this is 15 and is 15 into 10 raised to the power 11 plus 11 is 22. Next, here you can cancel them. Look here, 2 3s are 3, because 6 and 15 are the multiples of 3. 3 2s are 3 5s are. Further, not possible. Let's go for writing. It is equal to 667 as it is into 2 2s are 4 into 10 raised to the power 43. Take 10 raised to the power 22 to the numerator, becomes minus 22. Again it is according to the law of exponent. Minus 22. Then here 15, 5. 15 5s are, this is 75. So here I will rub this one. Let me continue here. This is equal to, go for multiplying 667 and 4. How much it will be? 4 7s are 28. 2 is the carry. 4 6s are 24 plus 2. 26. Again 2 is the carry. 4 6s are 24 plus 2. 26. 2668 by 75 into 10 raised to the power. What is 43 minus 22? It is 3 minus 2 is 1, 4 minus 2 is 2. It is 21. This is equal to, let us go for dividing 2668 by 75. 2 is not divisible by this. 26 not divisible by this. Then take 266. Then how much are? 75. 3s are. How much? 73 is 210, 5 3 is 15, 210 plus 15, 225. Right? Then it is 6 minus 5 is 1, 6 minus 2 is 4. Carry down 8, 480. Next, 75 how much are? Can we go for 4s are? 75 2s are? 150 into 2s are, that is 75 4s are 300. 5s are will come. Yes. 75 5s are 5 5s are 25 2. 5 7s are 35. 35 plus 2 37. Subtract 8 minus 5 3. 11 minus 7 4. 43. Put decimal. Take 0. Then it is 430. Again, how much are? 75 6 are, is it okay? 75 2s are 150, 4s are 300, 6 are 450, but here we have 430. Again 5s are. It is 375, 10 minus 5, 5, 2, 12 minus 7, 5, then 3 minus 3, 0, 55. Again take 0. How much are? This will be 75, 6 are 450, 450, 7s are will come. This is equal to 35.57 into 10 raised to the power 21. As it should be expressed as in the scientific notation, so the value should be, this part should be taken either equal to 10 or less than 10. Here 35 is there. Alright, 3.557 into 10 raised to the power 1 into 10 raised to the power 21. This is equal to 3.5. See that approximately 57 is equal to 60. Then we can write 3.56 into 10 raised to the power 1 plus 21, 22. So F is equal to 3.56 into 10 raised to the power 22 Newton. This is the gravitational force acting between Sun and the Earth. Please do remember this value, 3.5 into 10 raised to the power 22 Newton. Here I will write the conclusion. Therefore, the gravitational force between the sun and the earth is how much? It is 3.56 into 10 raised to the power 22 Newton. Remember this one, and even you should practice this. I'll put one more star mark as it is much important in the examination point of view. Let's copy this. Dear students, we have one important and interesting statement that has been given in question number 17. Please go through this. It is, a stone is allowed to fall from the top of a tower 100 meter high, and at the same time another stone is projected vertically upwards from the ground with a velocity of 25 meter per second. Calculate when and where the two stones will meet. Will it not be interesting? Definitely. Yeah. Pausing the video, just go for copying this statement. After that, just listen to me. Don't go for copying anything. Look here. A stone is allowed to fall from the top of a tower 100 meter high. Okay. This is the ground and is the tower. This is the tower. And here is the stone. And it is dropped from this height. What is the height of the tower? It is 100 meter. The distance from ground to the top of the tower. From this height, we are dropping the stone. And at the same time, another stone is projected vertically upwards from the ground. Okay. One more. one more stone is taken, it is projected vertically upward like this. Followed? This is first stone and this second stone. But second stone is projected, it is thrown vertically upward with a velocity of 25 meter per second. That is the initial velocity. With this information, we have to calculate when and where the two stones will meet. That is, as the first stone is falling towards the ground and second stone is moving away from the ground, so they meet at some point. At what height they'll meet, that should be found out. Then after what time they'll meet, that should also be found out. Clear? Is it not simple? Yes. Is it not interesting? Yes. But not proper response for simple one, because I know that you are also thinking how to calculate that. Now let me tell you how is this. Observe. Here I write the data. First, let us take the information regarding first stone. First stone. It is at a height of 100 meter, right? Then, and it is to be dropped from the 100 meter height. Hence, I take its initial velocity as 0 meter per second. And let us assume that both the stone will meet at a height x meter from the ground. See that? Assume that this is the point at which both will meet. And I am going to take this as x meter from here to here. Then what is the distance from here to here? It is 100 minus x. Total distance is, total height is 100 meter, and both will meet at a height of x meter from the ground. Therefore, height of the distance covered by the stone, first stone, it will be 100 minus x. Clear? Here I am going to assume that let the two stones meet at a height of x meter from the ground. Then now the stone, so it covers a distance of 100 minus x meter. Then first stone height is 100 minus x meter. Followed, as it is falling freely towards the ground, then g value will be minus 9.8 meter per second square. To make the calculation simple, let's go for taking 10 or else 9.8. Okay, let us take minus 9.8 meter per second square. Got it? Okay. Now let me give you information regarding the second stone. Second stone. Observe. What is, and it is to be projected vertically upward with a velocity of 25 meter per second square. So u equal to 25 meter per second. I take this as u dash. And it moves to the height of x meter. H dash is equal to x meter. Got it? Okay, now let's go for finding then at what height both will meet and also the time after which they meet. Observe, calculation. The time after which both stones meet, call it as t seconds. So now look at u, h, g and t. So which equation should be used? Whether v equal to u plus gt, h is equal to ut plus half gt square, or v square minus u square equal to 2gh. Here time is known, initial velocity is known, and height is also known. Hence we shall go for taking this one. But here final velocity is unknown. Final velocity is unknown. By the equation of motion, we can write h is equal to ut plus half gt square. Then what is h? It is with respect to first stone. Here I write first stone. Next, h is 100 minus x. 100 minus x. This is equal to, now u is 0, time t is unknown, half into, then gt square. G is how much? It is minus 9.8. T square. T is unknown. We can write this as it is. Now write 100 minus x, which is equal to 0 into t is 0. 0 plus any number is the number itself. Here 2 ones are 2, 4.9 minus 4.9 t square. Followed? Now let us solve x from this. Let us solve x. See here 100 as it is, then plus 4.9 t square, then minus x, take that to the right hand side. You may call this as statement 1. And for second stone, we can write, again by the equation of motion, we can write h dash is equal to u dash t plus half gt square. Then h dash is how much? It is x. It is equal to u dash, it is 25 into t plus half into g is, so it is thrown vertically upward. Dear students, there is a correction. Look here, first stone is falling towards the ground. Hence it is plus 9.8 meter per second square. It is free fall. And G is minus 9.8 meter per second square fall. Projectile body. Then look here. Here it becomes, this is plus and this is plus and this will be minus. This is the equation. And here, look here, for second stone is projectile. So minus 9.8 t square. This is equal to 25t, cancel it, 1s are 4.9 t square. What is x? X is 100 minus 4.9 t square is equal to 25t minus 4.9 t square. So this has been written from statement 1. Hope that you have understood. Then here minus 4.9 t square minus 4.9 t square get cancelled. You will get 100 is equal to 25 t. Then t is equal to 25 ones are 25 fours are. So after 4 seconds both the stones will meet. But at what height they meet, that can be found out by using equation 1. From equation 1, let me substitute 4 in place of t. It is 100 minus 4.9 into t. T is 4. Whole square is equal to x. Followed? Then this will be 100 minus 4 square is 16. 4.9 into, it is 16. Let us multiply this. Yes, it is 100 minus 4.9 into 16. 16 9s are 144. 14 is the carry. 16 4s are 64. 64 plus 14, 78. After decimal, 1 digit. So 78.4 is equal to x. And this will be 21.6 equal to x. So x is equal to 21.6 meter. That means both the stones will meet at a height of 21.66 meter from the ground, and from the top this will be 78.4. Got it? Hope that you have understood. Now let me write the conclusion. What is that conclusion? Both the stones meet after 4 seconds at a height of 21.6 meter from the ground, or 78.4 meter from the top. Yes, please go for copying this. Please go through 18th one. This is the last problem of this chapter. The statement is like this: a ball thrown up vertically returns to the thrower after 6 seconds. What is the meaning of that? That is for both to and fro motion, that is upward journey and downward journey. All together the ball has taken 6 seconds. Then find the velocity with which it was thrown up. That is one thing. And second one, the maximum height it reaches. And third one is its position after 4 seconds. So these are the 3 important statements to be answered. Let's go for answering one by one. First, data. Look here. A ball thrown up vertically returns to the thrower after 6 seconds. So the total time taken by the ball, it is 6 seconds. We know that upward motion of the ball is equal to downward motion of the ball. Upward journey of the ball is equal to then downward journey of the ball. Followed. Next, if it is so, in one side, how much time it will take? So it is half of that. That is 6 by 2. Here I'll write time taken by the ball in each side journey. How much? It is 6 by 2. You may call this as T. T is equal to 6 by 2 is 3 seconds. Next, let us go for taking A. The velocity with which it was thrown up. Look here, the velocity with which, that means initial velocity is to be found out. Then when it reaches the highest point, what will be the final velocity? It is final velocity is 0. The time for which it has moved, it is 3 seconds. Then as it is thrown vertically upward, what will be the g? It is minus 9.8 meter per second because it is projectile. Followed. Next, here I will write the calculation. How do you go for finding u? Again we have to use the equations of motion, that is v equal to u plus gt. Then h is equal to ut plus half gt square, then v square minus u square equal to 2gh, right? Here VTG, u is needed, VTG, u is required. So you can go for using first equation of motion by the equation of motion. We can write it is v equal to u plus gt. Followed? What is v? V, final velocity 0, u is unknown and g is minus 9.8 and time is, this is 3. Then 0 is equal to u minus 9.8 into 3. 3 8s are 24. 2 is the carry. 3 9s are 27. 27 plus 2. 27 plus 2 is 29. So after decimal, 1 digit. Then we can write u is equal to 29.4 meter per second. This is the velocity with which we have thrown the ball. Next, the maximum height it reaches. Again, now this time we are going to find out height. Look here, height is to be found out and its initial velocity is known. U is equal to 29.4 meter per second. Final velocity is 0 and g is minus 9.8 meter per second square as it is, meter per second square as it is projectile. Then time is also known. T is equal to 3 seconds. You are going to find out h. Which one you will go for? Look here, h is equal to ut plus half gt square. Then v square minus u square equal to 2gh. In both, h is there and we know all these terms. Hence, any one of last two can be taken. Here I'll write. Again, calculation. By equation of motion, we can write h is equal to ut plus half gt square. Then this is equal to, what is u? It is 29.4. What about the time? 3 seconds plus half into g. This is minus 9.8. T. Time is 3 seconds. That has been written here. 3 whole square. It is equal to, multiply. 3 4s are 12. For decimal, carry 1. 3 9s are 27. 28. 2. 3 2s are 6 plus 2. 8. 88.2. Then 1s are, it is 4.9s are. So 4.9 into 3 square is 9. This is equal to 88.2 minus 9 9s are 81. 8 is the carry. Put decimal. 9 4s are 36 plus 8 44. It is equal to, subtract 1 8 minus 4 4 8 minus 4 4. H is equal to 44.1 meter. Followed? Hope that you have understood. So this is the height to which it has reached. Ball has reached. And third one, C. Its position after 4 seconds. Look here. Its position after 4 seconds. 3 seconds. For 3 seconds it has covered a height of 44.1. Then it will start, after 3 seconds it will start falling. Clear? So when it is falling, how much distance it will cover, that should be found out. Here on right, we can write the distance covered by the ball in 1 second during its downward motion. Distance covered by the ball in 1 second during its downward motion. In case of downward motion, then the initial velocity will be 0, right? Because it is at highest point. From here it will start falling. Then time is 1 second. What about G? G is 9.8 meter per second square. Now we have to find out how much distance it covers. H. UTG. H. UTG. H. So let's go for that. Let us use S equal to H is equal to UT plus half GT square. It is equal to U is 0 into time is 1 plus half into G is 9.8 then T square 1 whole square. It is equal to 1 sir 4.9 sir. It is 4.9 meter. That means it covers a distance of 4.9 meter. Total height is 44.1 meter, and from there it is falling. It has covered a distance of 4.9, and remaining distance it will be calculated by subtracting 4.9 in 44.1. Followed? See its position after 4 seconds. Hence, the distance can be written as the position of ball. Position of ball after 4 seconds. It is equal to. This is equal to. It is 44.1 meter minus 4.9 meter is equal to. Now subtract. From 1, 9 cannot be subtracted. Take 1. It becomes 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. Point. Here 3 will remain. From 3, 4 cannot be subtracted. Borrow 1. It becomes 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. This is 3. 39.2 meter. Understood? So, we can say that after 4 seconds, the position of the object will be, that is ball will be 39.2 meter from the ground. Clear up? Let's copy that and I'll write the conclusion here. Dear students, now I'll go for writing the conclusion here. Observe. First, the velocity with which the ball was thrown out. How much? 29.4 meters per second. Let me write the conclusion one by one. Therefore, the velocity with which the ball was thrown up is 29.4 meter per second. Next, another point. This is A. Now B. The maximum height it reaches, that is, the maximum height reached by the ball is how much? 44.1 meter. 44.1 meter. Next, C. Its position after 4 seconds. The position of ball after 4 seconds is 39.2 meter from the ground. Followed? Yes, copy the conclusion as well. Dear students, in today's class also, we have solved very important type of problems. Please do work out all these today itself without fail. And particularly today's problem, what we have solved, they are very important in the examination point of view. Hence, repeatedly I have been telling, please work out them 2 to 3 times without fail. And with this, the chapter has been completed. And the next concept is actually it is about thrust and pressure. It is there for second term. But for first term, we have finished the physics syllabus completely. The first chapter motion, second chapter force and laws of motion, and third chapter gravitation, up to the concept called the differences between mass and weight. Just keep practicing for the midterm examination. Okay. Yes, with this and before concluding the class, again I have to give you one more information. From tomorrow onwards, we will focus on chemistry syllabus. In chemistry, we have completed only one chapter, that is matter in our surroundings. From tomorrow onwards, we will focus on the second chapter called Is Matter Around Us Pure? Okay. With this, let us stop the class. Thank you very much.